Hello, and welcome to Go Fund This, a podcast from Nerds Domain. In these episodes, we'll be talking to crowdfund project managers about their projects and what excites them. Come listen as we talk about the passion they have for their project. Hi everybody, and welcome back to Go Fund This. Today I'm with Todd Cramer and Bob Howle. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about their Kickstarter project called Tell Me What's in That, where they hopefully will tell you what's in that. So, Bob and Todd, let's talk about two very, very important questions that I prepped you for absolutely none at all, because I like to ask these on the fly and get true reactions right away. So, you can answer these, whoever wants to go first, but there are two very important questions here. So, first question. In the pending zombie apocalypse, what is your weapon of choice?
Bob, you got to answer that one first.
I have to answer.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. Hands and feet.
Hands and feet. Okay. Yes. All right. That's okay. You're going to run away and then punch things? Is that what you're going for?
No, I'm going to kick and punch them.
Okay. Right on.
Sound good?
Yeah, that sounds great.
And then pull out the lifesaver after that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And Todd?
Mine's simple. 12-gauge shotgun with a backup of a Calico 9mm, semi-auto.
Right on. So
at least can get away. It's not going to last very long, but at least I can get away.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you sound like you know what you're doing.
Well, my plan in the zombie apocalypse is to, of course, chop off their arms, make them so they can't bite me, then harness them like horses and use them like a perpetual motion machine and develop a civilization of using them. They can run around in circles, generate electricity, harness them like a horse. I mean,
okay.
I just think that the apocalypse could be, the solution to the energy problem.
Right. Okay. That's one way to look at it. It's a very unique way to look at it for sure.
I'm a nerd.
Oh, fair enough.
I really thought about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clearly. Are you sure are you glad you're in business with them now?
I'm beginning to think about it.
So second question, just as important. Given all of the sci-fi that you know, what planet do you most want to visit?
Ooh, good question. Do I have to be there, or just visit and I can leave?
You can visit and then leave.
Oh, that's Khorasan.
Okay. Why would you want to leave so quickly?
I just don't know.
So much to do.
It's just a big giant city, and it'd be fun to explore all the levels. But I don't think I'd want to live there all the time.
Oh, definitely, for sure.
The traffic.
Oh yeah. Traffic on the ground is bad enough. Can you imagine traffic in space?
Well, it's traffic from the ground all the way up. It's amazing, but I don't know that I'd want to stay there forever.
Right on.
Matt, I'm still thinking of what planets are outside of our universe.
Oh, well, I mean, you could, there are tons.
How about Krypton?
Krypton. Well, okay, yeah. Yeah, I guess early classic age Krypton, not current Krypton.
I'd have to go way back in time, as Todd says. So.
Okay. Right on. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into your project. Let's start off kind of with your sales pitch. What exactly is Tell Me What's in That, and why do you have such a passion for this?
Well, I have 3 children, 2 of them with anaphylactic responses and 1 with intolerances to food. And so this app was basically made up to help families, whenever they're in the doctor's office, find out about a medication if it had a food allergen in it before they went to fulfill that prescription.
Okay.
And so being able to find out about those food allergens before you go and buy the medication, because you can't return the medication once you've bought it. And then if you do take it, what kind of side effects are being caused by the inactive ingredient, and what kind of reaction is being caused by the active ingredient. How do you know which one is really being effective or not effective?
Okay. And so the app, you said this was an app.
Right.
it's going to allow you to do all that very, very quickly on the fly?
Oh, absolutely. You'll be able to type in the drug, and the drug won't pull up the active ingredients as much as it's going to pull up the inactive ingredient that you've already filled out a profile for.
Okay. All right. So this, and it's supposed to also work on over-the-counter drugs too, as well, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've got it set up. So what will happen is you set up your common food names for foods, milk and this, and they derive a number of combinations off of anhydrous lactose is a milk derivative. They could be whey in there. It's not the drug that's the issue. It's what they call the inactive ingredient, and those are all where the food allergens are actually hiding in. And if you go buy ibuprofen is the active ingredient. But if you go through the ingredient list, there's like 15 other things in there with it.
Yeah.
And so the point is to identify what within those is your allergen. And so it's individual and family reacted. And then so for the over-the-counter, what we do is you could look at it up for an individual, or you could check the flag, and when you go to scan one like the barcode, it'll use all the allergens in the entire family that you've got in your profile to compare against. And then that way if there's anything in there that's of an issue or not.
Okay. And so, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say we hide nothing. It literally tells you what's in that.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about your guys' background as far as I know that, Todd, we talked at a convention recently about your family, and Bob, you've mentioned yours. But tell me about your background as far as designing the app. Are you both programmers?
No, I'm not. That's Bob.
Bob is not. I've been taught from BASIC, Pascal. I learned some Visual Basic and Fortran in college. I did a proprietary language for an ERP system when I first got out of college. And so most of my programming that I've done was more earlier in my career, and it was always more in the industrial languages.
Okay.
I work with SAP now, and so I do know some ABAP code, and I do know some coding. But mostly what I'm doing is architecting it, designing the entire flow and all the gates and stuff. And that's kind of more of what I've done in my career recently, too. Is I design and kind of architect the plan for the system and the data flow and how it's intended to be used. We do need actually really programmers that really know what they're doing, rather than me spending a couple of years to figure out how to really do it. Okay,
and so you were asking for $75,000, and part of that's going to be to pay those programmers, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
We've got everything all mapped out, and if they go onto the Tell Me What's in That on the Kickstarter, they can see a kind of a demo operation of it, and that's a piece of what we've got all spec'd out and structured. And we use standard tools out there to have it all mapped out. It makes programming so much easier. I use it for our ERP system at work. It cuts down a lot of the back and forth and questions and what you intend to do.
And it looks like you're planning to develop this across all 4 platforms: BlackBerry, Android, iOS, and Windows as well, right?
Yep.
Right.
So that's the plan, is to make sure that you guys have everything set so anybody can access this.
Yeah, and we're not going to need a lot of like native content programming on the for each device type, but we'll need enough, to take advantage of the tools that are there, the camera and the scannability. But the database is going to be run off of an external system. It won't be off the phone. But the person will be able to maintain their profile on their phone. So even if they don't have stuff, they could always send it, email it, save it.
Okay. So the app itself should be relatively small too. So there won't be a big bulky database behind it.
Yeah.
At least not through the app itself. It will be external.
Yeah, it's not going to take up a lot of space on their system.
Excellent.
Now, if we sell it to any doctors, we'll have to give them the full Monty. But
yeah. So let's talk about the kind of the cost structure there. It looks like the app is going to be free. Is that correct?
Well, we've debated that, but we know we do know we're going to have a subscription service to maintain that database. It is developed from all the ingredients are derived from the FDA's own database system. None of it's from, our own or some other third party. So it's all from their label system, extracted, constructed, and they do daily, weekly, and monthly updates, which include new labels and ingredients as well as drugs, but also changes to current and existing ones. And so those all have to be maintained. It's also quite large, so we need to have it on a secure server. We also want to be concerned, careful of other people's privacy, so we're going to make sure all the protocols are there so that, nobody can get anything they're not supposed to get. I mean, people could use fake names for all we care. We don't care what they use on their app. But we just want to make sure that no one has any concerns.
Okay, so I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, the research that I've done for any of the apps that had anything to do with food allergies, the price that I came up with was $4.99 for the app, because anything that was even similar to ours was $9.99, $10.99. Even some of the more medical type apps were somewhere around $149.
Oh wow! And you're saying similar, but like you told me beforehand, there's nothing out there really like this either.
No, the ones that I'm talking about that are similar would bring up all the information we don't really care anything about.
Okay.
And it's information you've got to thumb through. That they're more developed for a pharmacist, they're more developed for a doctor, for someone who's going to medical school.
Okay.
There's not something out there that the average person can really read.
And so the whole intent there is to make this for everyday users.
Absolutely.
To just quick check and move on, right?
Well, as a parent at the doctor's office, when you've got a couple of kids tugging on your leg, you don't need to be thumbing through a whole bunch of information that you don't need to get to the part you do need.
Absolutely. So, have you decided on what the subscription's going to cost? Have you looked at that yet?
$6.99.
$6.99 a month?
Yeah.
So less than Netflix to keep your kids from having terrible, terrible reactions?
Absolutely.
That doesn't sound so bad.
No,
it looks like with your backers, if you back at a $10 level, you're going to get the free app and then access to the top 100 drugs or so. And then you get a couple other things. But that's really kind of where the app comes in, right?
Right.
I mean, as far as the pledge levels go.
Right.
And so if I pay that, that'll just be on my phone, or can I access it on multiple devices?
Multiple devices.
Okay. So I will only need to buy it for my family once, right?
The subscriptions once. We're still debating on whether we'll do because there is some. Do we need to pay? It's $6.99 per month, right?
Right.
We may have to do like a small one-time shot for if you do it on the Android or the
okay.
other. But the pricing we haven't really fully routed out, because one of the things is if we got enough money for it, then we're not as concerned with trying to maintain the server.
Okay.
Co-location and making sure that we don't have any of those issues. So, I mean, if they back it and make us enough money, we can be cheap. Just saying.
Well, and so there's that, and that's a big part of what the subscription is for, is to house everything and keep everything up to date as often as possible, right?
Right.
Okay.
Well, just with all the different changes, Matt, and the what the FDA approves, and the different way the pharmaceutical companies are using the words inactive ingredients, those types of things, they're not doing anything wrong. It's just that we still need to know what names those are. So if you use the word lecithin in a pharmaceutical med or an over-the-counter med, we need to know if that's an egg lecithin or is that a soy lecithin.
Okay.
And so without knowing that information, you don't know what you're getting in your medication.
Absolutely. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So you've just started the company, and you've called it "Tell Me What's in This," right?
Right.
Or what's in that? What's in that? Is this going to be your main focus? Do you have any thoughts beyond this, or is this just where you're at right now?
Well, we have thoughts beyond this, but we're not really at liberty to discuss those yet.
Absolutely understandable.
We were actually had to be quite quiet about this for a long time because it could be, stolen by one of the large pharmaceutical ones. So this is right now a patent pending process, and we're working on other patents right now.
Excellent.
So, and that's why we can't talk about the other ideas beyond that.
Oh, absolutely. No, that makes perfect sense. I always ask just to see where everybody's at.
Oh, no. No, it's great. I've got an idea, and, what did we say? We've back and forth ideas, and then we're like, we're all agree this is like a verbal non-disclosure, right? It's like, yes.
Excellent. So you guys are asking for $75,000. You've been up for just a couple of days, and you've already got $1,100, right?
Right. 1,120, Matt.
Hey, every dollar does count. And your levels range from $5, and that's just kind of a thank you in an email, and we get put on your backer wall on the website, all the way up to $1,000, and that gives you 20 full access apps and a bunch of other stuff, including beta testing, and T-shirts, and then some free subscriptions or 6 months of free subscription.
Right.
So there's all kinds of stuff in between.
Yeah, but to all 20 of those, subscriptions.
Oh.
So if somebody sits there and they buy into it, and they get to hand that out to the people they care about. So we're hoping that you get some, people that have money, or they know people that have allergies, and that can be, handed out.
Okay. All right. And so it looks like there's some temporary tattoos, right? Don't feed me.
Right.
Lots of app stuff in here, right?
Right. When kids go to parties, when kids go to school, when they go to parties, when they go to, karate class, whatever. Anytime there's somewhere, if there's a tattoo on their hand, a lot of people will see that. But if they know that tattoo says "Don't feed me," it's a question that'll be brought up. Okay, what's the matter? That kind of stuff. If it's a young enough child, they can't really speak up for themselves.
Absolutely.
And so it's a way to alert people.
Okay. And even with children that can't speak up for themselves, sometimes they don't think, oh, this is going to be bad for me later.
Right.
Especially if it's not a terrible, terrible reaction. It's just something that they don't feel well later because they ate it.
Right.
They don't always think about that. So, okay. So you guys have been up for a couple of days. You're moving along. How you feeling good about that? Do you feel like you've gotten off to a good start?
Not bad, Matt, for someone who's had to stay quiet for so long.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right. Excellent. Absolutely.
We've had to keep it quiet for so long because of people having the more financial ways of developing the app before we could.
And they're free to pay a license for us if they want to. We'll discuss that.
Yeah, absolutely. All the big pharmaceutical companies definitely listen to Go Fund This, even though this is our first official episode. So we will make sure to send them your way. No, that's excellent, though. I'm glad to hear that you guys are setting yourselves up legally and protecting yourselves that way. That's perfect. So you've got this going. You've got, another 26 days? Is that correct?
Right.
Give or take. And there's lots of good information here. So you would suggest this app for anybody that has any sort of allergies to anything. You just they should know what they're putting in their body when they eat.
Absolutely.
Or when they take medicine.
Absolutely.
And it's not always readily available.
Well, yeah, my wife was taking ibuprofen, and she kept saying it's not helping, and we had 2 bottles, and one of them had a milk derivative in it, and she has an allergy to milk, and it's like, well, of course it's not helping you, it's causing more inflammation.
Excellent. So and the other one didn't?
Yeah, we use the liquid gels seems to work just fine. They don't have any problem at all with taking that one.
Strange and weird.
But that's what you find out. See, before she's just saying, oh, it doesn't work. Well, then she might go take another thing, or she might take a whole ton of stuff. It might actually make her worse. You don't.
Yeah.
So, once you are able just to see, hey, okay, let's try something else. This one doesn't have anything in it I'm allergic to, and my wife's allergic to 40-some things. So the odds are.
Yeah.
And so, it's been helpful just being aware of the ingredients,
The other cool thing about the app, Matt, is whenever a person searches the actual drug, it'll be able to tell them which form is going to have that food allergen in it. So
Okay.
you may be able to take a gel cap, but you may not be able to take the chewable, or you may not be able to take the tablet or the capsule. You may be able to only take the liquid form.
Yeah, I'm looking at your what is this called? Your mock-up here.
Right.
And it says, so it's just ibuprofen that you guys search for, and there are 4 different kinds of ibuprofens here.
Yep.
There's Advil liquid gel. There's Babies R Us ibuprofen,
There's like
suspension,
yeah.
which I think is liquid, like full-on liquid.
Yep.
And then there's Clear Choice, which is a coated tablet. So each one of those, 3 out of the 4 of those is fine, and then the one is not, and it shows in a mock-up slightly down that it's the milk in that one that isn't in the others.
Right.
Yep. That's exactly it. Now that's just a mock-up. There's like 300 plus, ibuprofen derivatives. So that was just
absolutely.
Like, here's 4.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you can see like which was a good or not, and we added a filter on there so you can start filtering and playing with, whoever's doing the search. Okay, let's see what stuff doesn't have anything. Okay, what stuff has stuff in the red or yellow or green, severity level. So,
and this goes from green where you can just straight take it to yellow where you might have some issues to red where it's a terrible, terrible idea, and then orange where there might be some sensitivity issues.
Right.
Okay.
Well, imagine trying to find all those different brands and which form you can take while you're in the doctor's office with a child.
Absolutely. Or in the store, like, I need to pick up ibuprofen real quick. What do I need to get? And you have to look and look and look. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
let's say in 26 days you guys fund and you fund well. What are you looking at? How quickly are we looking at seeing this on the market?
Well, if it's still the full 75, we have the potential to have it in really early next year, like within the first couple of months, like January or February. Okay. If we don't get quite that amount, it's we're going to make it one way or another. It's just how long is it going to take?
Absolutely.
But the more money, the quicker it can get. We have a couple people that we've looked at for resources, and one in particular we're really hoping to use. And if we can bring everything we need, that we can get it done.
Excellent. So the app looks great, or at least the mock-ups look great, and it looks like something that we definitely need. Anything else you guys want to point out? Anywhere you guys are going to be to show this off, or anything like that?
No, Matt. As of right now, we've just been sending out a bunch of emails, contacting everyone we know.
Excellent.
I've talked to 50 pharmacists, and out of the 50 pharmacists I've talked to, all 50 have said they would use the app.
Excellent. That's great. That's good to know, too.
The doctors that I've talked to, the nurses that I've talked to, all of them said they would use the app because of the simplicity of it.
Excellent. All right. Well, then it's just a matter of getting people to you, right?
Absolutely. Well, we've got everybody sharing. If I'm not mistaken, we have about 106 Facebook shares already to the site. We just got to get them to fund the site.
Absolutely. All right. Well, if you guys want to go over to Facebook and find Tell Me What's in This, it's facebook.com/tellmewhat'sinthis. And you can go straight to...
Hey, tell me what's in that, Matt.
Tell me what's in that. Absolutely. I'm sorry. Let's try that again, and I will edit that. If you guys want to find them on Facebook, you want to go to facebook.com/tellmewhat'sinthat. And then if you want to go straight to the Kickstarter, it's tinyurl.com/tellmekick. I honestly think this is one of the best things I've seen for allergy type things ever. I'm very blessed that I don't have this kind of stuff, but I can imagine how difficult this would be, not even just with children, just as a person not knowing what's in my medicines and not being sure what's going to work and what's not, just because milk is an inactive ingredient that the companies use to make sure their drugs work the way they're supposed to. So I can only imagine how difficult life would be with children who just don't feel well and want something to make them feel better, and who knows if it's going to make it worse or not, right?
Yeah, that's the biggest fear and concern, because if you've got a kid, especially you give medicine at night, and that's when you need
Absolutely.
to be watching the kids. So I can't not know what's in the medicine and if they're going to have an issue.
Absolutely.
And Matt,
Well, yes.
And Matt, the other part is, what if you take a antibiotic and you can't seem to get rid of something, and you keep going back and getting a different antibiotic, a different antibiotic, a different antibiotic? You don't know if it's the active ingredient that you're having an issue with, or if it's the inactive ingredients that are in there.
Absolutely.
And so that's why we have to ask what's in that, you know.
And it's a great tool to bring to your doctor if you've got allergies. You know, okay, let's see what we've got here. You know, I've got these allergies and I'm not getting this away. Let's try this different medicine. And
excellent.
Keeps
you more informed. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, that'll do us tonight for GoFund This. You can find us on Twitter at NerdsDomain, and you can find our website at nerdsdom.com. You can find us over at Facebook at facebook.com/nerdsdomain. Definitely head over to this Kickstarter project and check that out. We hope that you enjoyed this podcast, and we look forward to talking to you guys real soon.
This has been a production of the Omega Nerds Network, the network where it's on.